What up, YouTube? It is the end of the week report. The truck is right there. Yes, we are working on it, but it's the end of the week. Let's talk about numbers. But first, look at this guy. Vic has a setup that is so insane, man. Look at this. Look at this monster lift. He got a huge garage. I mean, Vic got a lot of toys in here, man. Oh man, I'm so thankful for him. Oh goodness, it's insane, man. Anyway, so this week we went from Kenley, North Carolina to Petersburg, Virginia. That's 128 deadhead miles from Petersburg, Virginia to Birmingham, Alabama. From Birmingham, Alabama to Carrollton, Georgia. From Carrollton, Georgia to Bowling Green, Kentucky. From Bowling Green, Kentucky to Glendale, Kentucky. From Glendale, Kentucky to Clarksville, Tennessee. From Clarksville, Tennessee to Nashville, Tennessee. And from Nashville to Knoxville, Tennessee. Just in case you are curious, right? You see that thing right there? That's what we get in Korea when you PCS or leave Korea, right? Honorably, that is, like fulfilling your contract. I don't know about breaking your contract. I don't know what that is. Like if you get discharged dishonorably, I don't know. But they give you a plaque like that once you leave. Let's look at this. They got like his son's, he got all kinds of trophies. Like he got another garage over there, right? And he got all kinds of stuff over there. Boy, I tell you. So this week we ran a total of 1,704 miles. That's all miles, okay? Loaded miles, we ran 1,350. Deadhead miles, we ran 354. Gross is 5,250. All miles, we averaged $3.08 a mile. Loaded miles, we averaged $3.88 a mile. MPG, we averaged about 6.8. We did pretty bad MPG this time around for some reason. I think it's just like the short up and down, up and down, up and down on the 85 killed us, and we were loaded like almost 36,000 pounds, So we used a total of gallons of about 250 gallons. And in the area we actually got a couple of times, we got like 322, 330, price on the fuel. So that was pretty good. So we're going to go ahead and calculate that at 3.5. And that brings us to $877 fuel use. And that is insane. 16% off the gross. When I tell you insane, what I mean by that, that is ridiculously good. Okay. If we can average 16% of the gross in fuel all throughout the year, I will take that all day long. And gross 6,500, let's say 6,000 average, I will take that all day long. 16%, man, that's good money, man. I don't care how you slice and dice it, that is good money. So some of the notable loads that we had this week it was actually a short week. Okay, so we started on a Sunday. We got us a load on a Sunday, and we ended the week without a load on Thursday evening. So I would say that's pretty good, right? I mean, that's 5 days, man. 5 days, 5,250, And within that, I'd say we wasted about a day and a half, maybe 2 days, just sitting around waiting for the right load. That's one thing I'm liking about StepDeck, is that when you're choosing your loads, you can actually pick and choose those loads, and based on like where you are located or whatever, you can actually get good loads. Like, so one notable load that we had this week, it went 300 miles. They had it calculated for 300 miles, but it actually went 350 because we took the long route, okay? The easier route and the long route. But that thing is so light, it's like only 12,000 pounds. It required a tanker's endorsement, and we were gonna get it off the next day. We were gonna pick it up, like it was already late. We were picking it up at like we were an hour away, and we were picking it up by 4 o'clock, and we just got the load. I say 1 p.m. So we were sitting around waiting for that load. So that was a good load. It was loaded 300 miles, but it's actually 350 miles. But we got that for 1,500. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. So and then the next load that we had, that was actually, we sat around and wait for another a day and a half, right? After we drop off that morning, the very next morning, we drop off that short load. We got another short load, but it was the next day after we drop off that first thing in the morning. So we sat around a lot. I'm not too mad about that. You know what I mean? It's like, because just look at the numbers. And based on where I was located and how I was looking at the load board, the only reason why we grow so low is because of the fact that the truck is slightly crippled, and I didn't want to push it too hard. So I was looking for those light loads and not push it too hard. And what do you call it? Terrain wise, I wanted to be in an easier area, and I wanted to be within shooting distance of North Carolina, because that's where my buddy lives, Vic. That's where he lives. That's why we're working on the truck now. And then the other couple of loads that we had to go to this one town. When we picked up with this United load, we had to go to this one town. Man, that town is so weird. Glendale area. If you're ever gonna pick up anything in the Glendale, Kentucky, okay, it's on the south side of Elizabeth, Kentucky, Elizabethtown, I think that's what they call it. But anyway, be careful out there, man. They got this railroad track out there. You could easily get stuck. We have a step deck, and I didn't want to go over it. I think even a regular flatbed, you're gonna bottom out on your landing leg. So you watch that, man. That was a weird thing. So I almost canceled that load because of the fact that we couldn't get to the load. So we called the shipper, and the shipper gave us instructions. See, the problem was, like, the route, the instructions that they gave us, that's the route I was gonna take, okay? The route, the instructions that they gave us, it says no truck. That's why I didn't take it. That's why I was going around on the other side of Glendale, on the west side of Glendale, but that was a big no-go, man. So just be mindful of that. If you're ever gonna go to Glendale, Kentucky, be mindful of that railroad track. That railroad track, whew, that's a tough one, man. So, and then our next load was like, or last load was like a hot shot load, actually. So we just went ahead and took that because we were gonna deadhead down towards Knoxville anyway. Why not, right? I mean, we were gonna unload it the same day, so that's why we took it. So I was happy with that. I was happy with the whole week, believe it or not. If I wasn't specifically trying to stay in the area, I believe we could have easily grossed 75 million, maybe even 8K this week. I'm talking about from Sunday to Sunday, okay? So, but that's okay though. I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. The truck is broken down. I mean, it's not completely broken down, but it's slightly crippled, and we don't want to push our luck too hard, okay? So that's why we got the truck here now. We're fixing it now, but that's the end of the week, man. Those are some good numbers, and you're probably wondering, why is this guy always calculating just fuel? There's so many expenses, but you know what? That is your most expensive expenses right there, is your fuel. So that's why I keep emphasizing on the fuel, because of the fact that if you can lower your expenses on fuel, guess what? Everything else will follow. So we will see y'all on the next week end of the report, end of the week report.